right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this is our final day of class. Holy moly, that's crazy. Just kind of realized that since you guys are taking your exam starting tomorrow. So a couple of just quick reminders before we do our Kahoots game. Period 1 and 2, your exam is tomorrow, opens at midnight. It's open till 11:59, so that 24 hours, you get one attempt, right? Make sure that if you're going to use notes that you print them, okay? No electronic assistance, so no cell phones, iPads, other tabs, or something that will be considered academic dishonesty, and it will get you a minimum F, okay? So please don't do that. So if you're going to use notes, they need to be printed. Please also make sure that you fill out the attendance form right here, the attendance form. And you can just do that when you do your exam, and that will count for attendance for the rest of the year. Okay, so please make sure that that is done so that you can get attendance for the rest of the year. So I've put that right by the final exam. And this is just right underneath module 11. Okay, so it's right underneath that. Make sure you get those done. Again, tomorrow is the deadline for all work. Okay, so tomorrow is the deadline right here. Tomorrow is the deadline for all work. If you are still trying to bring up your grade, do that Hail Mary. Here's all the open assignments. Okay, so some of you truly are on the line. Okay, so I have everything graded as of this morning. So please get your work into me. Okay, I want you to pass. So please get your work into me because some of you are definitely on the line. All right, so we need to get our work in. Okay, because everything closes tomorrow night at midnight. One last reminder, make sure that you attend if you're graduating, attend the graduation rehearsal tomorrow. Here's the link. Remember, it's a Google Meet, and it's from 9 to 10 a.m., okay? And then there's the link to get to that Google Meet that is required, okay, in order to walk and stuff, as long as you've met all your credits. And then, again, remember, you have to do the senior checkout. So if you haven't made that appointment yet, then you make that appointment with your counselor and stuff. And then that's where you return any items that belong to the school district, pay any fines, you pick up your tickets, your cap and gown, and all that kind of stuff. Okay. It's a mandatory face-to-face. All right. So it won't take that long, but it is something that you need to do. Okay. Any questions on anything? Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice, Vanna. Thank you. I appreciate it. You mean the attendance form? Is that what you're talking about? I'm not sure if I said it for today. I don't care, honestly. At this point, I just want you guys to get stuff done. I really like it. And oh, it's open right now. It should be open right now. Okay. So yeah, if you want to go fill it out right now, get it done. Great idea. Great idea. Yeah. So why don't you, if you guys want to do it just right now, go fill it out, and that way it's done, and then you can get attendance for the rest of the year. Okay. Obviously, you can't do your final till tomorrow, but please make sure that you get that done. Okay. All right. Any questions on anything? You know where your review material is. Tomorrow's the deadline for all of your assignments. Okay. So any last minute Hail Marys, get them in. If you are failing, turning in a 70% is not going to help much. So we need to be turning in like 100%. You know what I mean? Like we need to get that grade up. So anything you're going to turn in, make sure that you are doing it completely. Okay. I think you're good, Chris. I think you're good. You've done great this year. So yeah, so I said, some of you are fine, but you know who you are. I sent notices on Tuesday. I will be sending some semester notices today to individuals where the third and fourth quarter we're having issues. Okay. So, but yeah, any last attempts that you're trying to get up, things like that, turning in 70% doesn't help the grade much. It's really, you want to get that 90 to 100%, right? To really feel the impact on your grade. Okay. And stuff. Yeah. So, okay. So we went over review material. You know your finals tomorrow if you're period 1 and 2, 3 and 4, they are on Monday, and then 5 and 6 are on Tuesday, right? You have that graduation meeting tomorrow, the grad walk meeting tomorrow. The link is in the announcement, okay? And then making sure that you make that senior checkout, okay? And then go ahead, that attendance form is open, so if you want to fill it out, get it off your plate. I'm totally cool with that, okay? Any questions, concerns? Now's a great time to ask. I can help you. Anything? Okay. Let's play some Kahoots. All right. So again, this is really good review. This is right off of the test bank. Okay. So this is from the test bank. So it's worth your time. We'll have a little fun and stuff. This will probably take us 25 minutes. So it won't take the whole time. And then that way, if you have things you want to finish up, you can do that. And also just an opportunity to say goodbye, because this is kind of it. If you want to drop in next week, I will be in classes and stuff. I mean, I'll be holding regular schedule, but that attendance form helps you out. Okay. But if you do need anything, if you have any last minute questions, you can always drop in next week or, and stuff. I'm certainly available. Okay. All right. Let's play Kahoots then. Okay. Awesome. All right. Let's play Kahoots then and stuff. So, whoops. Okay. So let's do it. Okay. So let me see here. Start. Team mode. Okay, let's see how this works. Okay, so I'll copy the link. You can do the QR code, or you can do 242-0820 going to www.kahoots.com. So I think it just randomly kind of puts you in the teams. So we're going to see how this goes. Randomly puts you. So please join. Let's have some fun. All right. It's just good review. Okay. So go ahead and join, please. If you're having any issues, let me know. Come on, folks. Let's join. Awesome. Yeah. No, actually. All right. Let's join. Come on, folks. I got 60 people in this meet. Come on. Where's everybody? You're in class. Join. You gotta final tomorrow. All right, let's give this a try. All right, so we're gonna start. So team, I'm not sure exactly how it works. Like if you both have to answer in order to get the score right, or like how it exactly, if it just combines the scores, like I'm not exactly sure. Okay, so we'll see. Which is not a reason for people to, okay, sorry. So which is not a reason not set aside extra money. We went over this question yesterday. Lack of financial budget, living a lifestyle beyond afford, planning for an unexpected expense, or lack of focus on future expenses. So what do we think? This was only a question yesterday. Okay. Yeah, planning for an unexpected expense. So that was one that we went over yesterday. Okay, actually in the PowerPoint. So I'm telling you, this one is probably on the test. So making sure that and I gave you guys that PowerPoint yesterday. If anybody needs it, I can give you the link again today. Because that one I haven't, that one, I posted a different one online, but you can have that one if you would like. Okay. All right, let's do the next one. Team Ocean. Nice job. I did not come up with those names, by the way. Good credit is usually required for which of the following? Renting an apartment, adopting a pet, paying a speeding ticket, or buying new furniture. I wonder. This is anybody's game. Oh, you walked away. We'll get back on board. It's okay. We got a lot of questions. Okay, good. Renting an apartment. Yes. So often they will check your credit score, right? So oftentimes from what I have seen and stuff, they often want to see like a 640, 650 or above and stuff. So if your credit starts a little lower, the things you can do, right, to bring up your credit is making sure you pay bills on time, keeping a low balance on credit cards and not having a lot of debt. That helps. And then establishing credit, so establishing some credit can help you as well. All right. Oh, Team Ocean, Team Fire is coming up though. Borrowing a subsidized federal student loan means the government will repay the loan. You will take you take a certain type of job after graduation. That should say the government will pay the interest on the loan until 6 months after graduate. Until 6 months after you graduate, the government will repay the loan in full, provided you graduate, or the government will pay the loan as long as you are full-time employment. So this is actually a good question. Okay. It is the government will pay interest on the loan until 6 months after graduation. So, for example, I had a federal subsidized student loan for my master's. So I didn't have, basically what that means is if you get a federal subsidized student loan, sorry, it's a mouthful, 6 months, you don't have to start paying the loan back until 6 months after you graduate. So it gives you a little bit of cushion to get a job and kind of get on your feet, so to speak, before you have to start paying it back. Okay. But it as of now, any loan you take, you got to pay back, so don't, those are not free. Okay. Scholarships is free money, right? You got to meet their expectations, but you don't have to pay those back. But loans, you absolutely have to pay back. So make sure that when you're accepting things and stuff like that, that you're being really clear, if something is a scholarship or a grant versus a loan. Okay. Because loans you're absolutely responsible for. And by the way, I'll tell you my other piece after this. Which of the following is not an example of a type of savings vehicle? This was on the PowerPoint yesterday. Payday loan, checking account, a certificate of deposit, or money market account. What is not an example of a type of savings vehicle? Good. Payday loans. If you can, try to avoid payday loans as much as possible. They're super high interest and they can really get you in trouble. So checking accounts are a good savings method, certificate of deposit, money market accounts. That's like a beefed up savings account where if you keep a higher minimum balance, then it helps you. Okay. All right. Team Ocean, Team Fire, let's go. Oh, what I was going to tell you was also if you ever commit or if you ever file bankruptcy, you can't get rid of student loans. That's the one kind of debt that can't get rid of. So be really careful when you're taking student loans because you absolutely have to pay them back. And even with bankruptcy, you cannot get rid of yeah. Or if you get them, I don't think they're all bad. I mean, they can, if we go to school, but you want to make them minimize as much as possible for sure. Yeah. If you can do it without, that's great. And stuff, but really try to minimize them as much as possible. A city or town that has corporate status and local government. Is that zoning, township, welfare, or municipality? Answer, folks. There should be more people answering. Come on. Yes. Okay, municipality. So this is one again we went over yesterday in the PowerPoint. So when you have that corporate status and local government, so you have a mayor, you have a city hall, you have first responders, you have hospitals, you have the tax system within the city. That's a municipality. All right. Okay, here we are. Everybody's on the board. Good job, everybody. Okay. Which of the following government actions is designed to decrease inflation? So to bring down inflation, we could use some of that right now. Hire more government employees, decrease federal income tax, reduce the money supply, or increase government spending. So what will bring down or should decrease inflation? This is kind of an economic question. So take a guess. It doesn't hurt you to guess. Because when you don't answer, it's the same as getting it wrong. Basically, so take a guess. Yes. Okay. Reduce the money supply. Reduce the money supply. Okay. Yeah. Because what happens is sometimes is that it gets overinflated, right? The money loses value. So by reducing the money supply, it helps to increase the value of money, of the individual dollar. Okay. Here we go. Ocean, sunshine, and fire. Because they pick the elements, right? What happens when a country's money supply increases faster than the goods and services it produces? Unemployment, equilibrium, inflation, or stability. So what happens when the money supply increases faster than the goods and services it produces? Unemployment, equilibrium, take a guess. Inflation or stability. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And it is inflation. Yes, inflation. Okay, so inflation can basically, it causes just the value of the products to go up, right? Because there's a shortage, basically. There's a shortage of products and services. Okay, Team Ocean, Sunrise. Okay, we're in it. All right, we're in this. What organization controls monetary policy in the United States? We did talk about this one. So what organization? The Fed, Federal Reserve Board, Securities and Exchange Commission, SECT, Department of Transportation, DOT, or Federal Trade Commission, FTC. And I believe this was actually on our quiz when we took it. So I remember this question. Yeah, this was on the quiz when we took it on that module. The Federal Reserve Board, the Federal Reserve Board. Okay, very good. Federal Reserve Board. All right. Okay, here we go. Which of the following would be paid for mainly by local taxes? Remember we talked about like what's paid at like federal level, what's paid at, you know, state level, and then local level. So what would be paid at local level? The formation of a new national park, the maintenance of town sewers, water systems, the building of a new Army recruitment center, or the construction of interstate highways that passes through a city. What would likely be the responsibility of the local taxes? Yeah, that's going to be the maintenance of the town's sewer and water systems. So sewer and water systems for sure. Okay, nice job, everybody. Which of the following is a tax on an imported good? So we actually had this question yesterday, okay, and we've talked about this. So which of the following is a tax on imported goods? So things coming from outside the country into the country. Okay, so let's say from Mexico to US or from Canada to the US. Tariff, exercise tax, gift tax, or estate tax. Five seconds, 3, 2, 1. Tariff. It's a tariff. Tariff. Okay. So anytime there's a tax on exported or imported goods, meaning outside the country, so foreign trade. So if every time we trade with Canada or with Mexico, if there is a tax on that, that's a tariff. So tariff's a specific tax term for international or foreign trade. If there is an unexpected frost that damages the orange in Florida, what would the effect be and how? Okay, the supply of oranges goes up, the demand for oranges goes up, the supply of oranges goes down, or the demand of oranges goes down. So what would be the effect? What do we think? So the supply of oranges goes down. Yeah, the supply. So if there's an unexpected, damage or something like that, then the supply will go down. And then we know that the next step would be that then the price would go up, right? Because there would be less supply, therefore probably increasing the price of that product. Okay, nice job, everybody. In the economic term, what is a stock? Okay, so this one we talked about like stocks and bonds and the stock market. A piece of paper that represents money, a share or part ownership of a company, ownership of an entire company, or a place where individuals raise money. So what is a stock? So think like when you're talking about like the stock market, stock exchange. Good. A share or part ownership of a company. Very good. So you can buy stock in like Amazon, Apple, or any energy. I mean, basically any kind of company you want. There you have the ability to buy part ownership of that company. And the more stocks you have, the more ownership you have. So when it goes up in value, your stock goes up. When it goes down in value, so it is a risky game, but people can make a lot of money doing that, especially if you invest in the right company at the right time. In a free enterprise, what is the government's role? Okay, so we talked about this a little bit yesterday. So in a free enterprise, what is the government's role? Owns and operates major industries, encourages competition amongst businesses, sets prices on goods and services, or decides what goods are manufactured. So keyword here being free. Free of government, think of that. So it is, this one could be a little higher, so let's take a second. So in a free enterprise, meaning free trade, that means the government would encourage competition amongst businesses, AKA private businesses competing amongst themselves. So if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. It's kind of that, survival of the fittest, a little bit economic style, okay, where the government's less involved and it allows for the competition for certain companies to rise and certain companies to fail. Okay, that was a harder question, but it's good that we review it. Why do U.S. economic policies seek to achieve the goal of maximum employment? Okay, more people working in the economy is better and the standard of living rises. More people who are employed, the more secure financial markets will be. Constitution guarantees a job to Americans who are willing and able to work. High employment is a signal to producers to lower prices of goods and services. So why do U.S. economic policies seek to achieve maximum employment? The more people who work in the economy, the better the standard of living. So it's kind of just basics. If you think the more people who are working, then hopefully a lot of things will follow. Less people in poverty, less people homeless, more people stable, less people reliant on government assistance and stuff. So, and just because you have a job doesn't mean that you don't need government assistance, but it increases that likelihood that people are more independent and self-sufficient, okay? That their standard of living is decent. What is the most basic economic issue for all of society? Inflation, taxation, scarcity, or recession? All of these are going to look familiar, so this one might be a little bit tricky, but one should hopefully rise to the above that we said was the basics, the heart of economics that I hit on quite a bit. Scarcity, right? So I remember how I said that, I have unlimited wants and needs. There's always something that I want and need, but due to scarcity, there is not enough resources, money, time, whatever, for whatever reason to meet all my wants and needs. Now I know off the top, it's like, how rude, but that's just reality of life, right? We kind of learned that with the budget project we did, right? Can I survive on my own? Like, you can't have everything you want. You have to pick and choose. You have to make sacrifices. I want this, I can't have that. And that's just life. And obviously, more money, you could probably meet more of those wants and needs, but even then, they're just that you can't have everything. Which of the following is an opportunity cost to build a new public high school? Okay, so think about opportunity cost trade-off. Okay, the cost of hiring teachers for all the subjects at the new school, other goods and services given up in order to build the school, change in the annual tax to pay for the new school, or cost of construction of the new school at a later date. What would be an opportunity cost? Okay, other goods and services given up in order to build the school. So this is a good one to remember. It's stuff. So, opportunity cost is one or the other. Okay, so when we choose to build a new school, then maybe we can't update the library. Maybe we can't do another rec center. Maybe we can't have as much money to fix the roads. Like it's that there's as a community, right? Our wants and needs are limitless, but the resources, money from taxes, there is a limit. And it's not always the answer to raise taxes. You have to think about that. If the answer is always to raise taxes, then you and I won't have any money left at the end of the month, to live off of. So at some point, the government has to, just like us, we have to make choices. And so, yeah, there are other goods and services that they might not be able to meet, or they'll have to put off. The nation's relationship with other nations. Is that foreign affairs, ambassador, right of legislation, or dignitary? What do we think? Foreign affairs. Yes, foreign affairs. Foreign affairs. So that's just kind of the general term for our interaction with other countries. Okay. All right. Okay, we've got a few questions left. A person considered to be important because of their high rank of office. We talked about this one yesterday. So this is a general term, okay? Dignitary, foreign affairs, right of legislation, or ambassador. We talked about this one yesterday. So hopefully y'all will get it. It's okay, Ryder. We're just giving it our best, right? Dignitary, okay? Dignitary, good. So dignitary is kind of the general term for someone in higher office. And then ambassador, right, is when you're specifically assigned to another country. So dignitary is just kind of like the more general term for higher rank of office, all right? Hey, it's okay if you're getting them wrong. It's the point is just to try, right? The point is just to try and stuff. That's all that matters, okay? I mean, it's fun to get on the podium, don't get me wrong, but what matters the most, we're all good sports. The right to send and receive diplomatic representatives, okay? Embassy, right of legation, ambassador, foreign affairs. This, I believe, is a vocab word. So this is where having that review sheet is going to be really helpful for you tomorrow. So I really highly recommend printing it if you can, because it will really be a good aid for you. The right of legation. Good. Most of you got it. Okay. So it's the ability to send and receive diplomatic representatives. Okay. So it's an ambassador would be an example of a diplomatic representative. Okay. Nice job, everybody. Okay. The second highest position in the Russian government is that of the federal embassy, the cabinet, the prime minister, or the president. We talked about types of government, and we did talk about Russia. This is a good one. No. So yeah, so their top position is president, and then they have a prime minister. So a lot of countries either have a president or a prime minister. They have both. The prime minister serves, I guess you could say, like loosely like a VP, like a vice president a little bit. Not exactly, but just to make some kind of relation to it, is that they don't yield a lot of power. A form of government where the people select their representatives to act on their behalf. Okay, so where you elect, so vote. Is that a monarchy, commonwealth, theocracy, or republic? Hopefully you will get this right. Otherwise, what have we been doing this year? Okay, so what is it when we vote for our representatives? We vote for our government. Come on, you guys, you can get this right. This is what we've been doing all year. What kind of government do we have here in the U.S.? The whole heart of the class. So republic, okay, a form of government where the people elect. So that means vote on their representative, okay, right? And then that representative goes and acts on their behalf. So like we do this in the House, we do this in the Senate, we do this at the state level, mayor, and stuff. So that is a republic, folks, a republic. Okay, remember a monarch, that's someone who inherits power. We just went over that yesterday, or we've talked about that quite a few times. So a monarch is someone who inherits power through family lineage. Like King Charles would be an example of that. He doesn't actually have power. He's more figurative, but it's through the lineage of the family. The established process of government must follow to take away a person's right. So what is the established process that the government has to go through in order to take away someone's rights? Is that double jeopardy, procedural due process, substantive due process, or probable cause? So what is the established process? So this basically means like crime, like if they're gonna arrest you, if they're gonna put you on trial, like what do they have to, there's a burden of proof that goes on the government. They can't just arrest you for nothing. Like there has to be, procedural due process. So there's a procedure, and this is all outlined in the Constitution, right? They can't just detain you for no reason. They have to detain you because, oh, it's suspected that you did a robbery, but they would have to have evidence. You're like, well, what is the evidence? So they can't just do it out of discrimination. They're not supposed to, right? It's supposed to be because of evidence. Anytime they're limiting your rights, there has to be reason to do it, and evidence to support that. According to the Supreme Court, when can speech or expression be limited? Okay. When it may cause harm to others, when the police have to respond to requests of noise, when the government does not like it, when it stops traffic. It's okay. Come on. You guys can do it. One question can turn things. Okay, very good. Yes. So when it can cause harm to others. So so an example of where the line might go, okay? So I could say something controversial like I don't agree with a certain religious group, right? So I could say that. That's not harming someone. I'm not causing them harm. So I'm expressing something that people might see as negative, but I'm not directly threatening that group. But if I were to say, I hate that group, I'm going to kill someone of that religion, or I think these people should die. Do you see what I mean? Then it could cause harm. Okay. So just expressing a negative opinion isn't necessarily causing harm. Doesn't mean you might not like it. You know what I mean? Nobody likes to hear something negative about something they believe in or that's important to them or something like that. But okay, the harm part is the key. Okay. And that's something like I've been talking to you guys about this year, that on social media and just things you hear in the news or when someone disagrees with you, it's so easy to get emotional, right? And to be like, oh my gosh, da, 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 they don't, but just to remember, like, what is the actual difference? People can disagree with you, and that doesn't mean that they are attacking you. They can disagree. Attacking is, a direct threat, harm to you, and it doesn't mean it feels good when someone doesn't agree with it. Don't get me wrong. It never feels good, but speech, where is actual speech limited? There is a difference. Okay. The United States citizenship is defined in the Constitution by Civil Rights Acts of 1964, the 15th Amendment, 14th Amendment, or 13th Amendment. This goes back to quarter 3. So this one might have to brush off the cobwebs a little bit. Good. 14th Amendment. So the 13th Amendment, the 13th and 14th, right, are, the easy way to remember them is Civil War, right? So the 13th Amendment was freeing of slaves and redefining, that aspect of our country. And then the 14th Amendment, now that you are freeing slaves, how do you categorize them, right? You have this whole sector of people, right, who, if they're not going to be slaves, then what, how do we classify them in society? So the 14th Amendment was to redefine what citizenship looks like, right? Who is a citizen of the country? So 13th Amendment was about ending slavery. And then 14th Amendment is that follow-up of, okay, now that we have this huge sector of the population that is supposed to be free, now how do we categorize or how do we define rights? So that's an easy way sometimes to kind of remember, think Civil War, 13th and 14th definitely go together, okay? Kind of piggyback off of each other. All right, this is gonna be our last question, all right? Our last question, here we go. For the grand championship. The first 10 minutes of the US Constitution or basic rights are granted to anyone around the world, service in the military, US citizens, or only white landowners. I believe we went over this question yesterday. Y'all are cracking me up. Do you like the team one? Is it kind of fun? I think it's kind of fun. Okay, here we go. U.S. citizens. Yeah, we went over this one yesterday. So any rights within the Constitution, in order to have full rights within this country, being a U.S. citizen, and that's true of really almost every country, right? That there's going to be two standards. When you're living within the country, you may have some basic rights. I agree. I agree. I welcome to the struggle of a teacher. So I appreciate everyone who's participated. Everyone else, like, I don't understand. So I don't know. You know what I mean? So I hear you, Cody, for sure. Okay, here we go. Podium. Good job to everybody. Team Fire, nice job. All right. Hey, what matters is you participated, you were here. Team Sunshine, nice job. And Team Ocean. Who doesn't love going to the ocean? Very good, everybody. Okay, very good. Yay. All right. All right. That concludes our review. Nice job, everybody. You did really, really well. So as we kind of wrap things up, yeah. Nice job, everybody. I appreciate you all for participating and stuff. So hopefully that was just another good, it's good to review, it's stuff like that. So use those resources that I've listed, okay? No, Cody, any participation I appreciate, all right? The good thing, I linked this. So this is linked. This is, the Kahoots is linked. The PowerPoint, would anybody like the PowerPoint from yesterday? Would you guys let me to throw that in the chat again real quick? Because that has actually more questions on it and a lot of questions we just did. Here, I'm grabbing it right now. Sorry, Ashton, that I'm just doing it. So, whoop, let me see here. 1 second. Get link. Okay, yes, go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so I already played it once, and then when I tried to play it again, right, it asked me if I was like the same person who played it last time. So if you see just a bunch of random names, that's probably gonna be me taking the Kahoot.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Like I said, you can do it individually. And again, I have that announcement in Canvas. You take it as many times as you want. That's the whole point. I did the link for the PowerPoint again there, so you're welcome to use that. It's got more questions, some of the same, but more questions. So all the final exam and attendance stuff is right here. Okay, and it's also in the final exam module. Okay, so all that stuff is right here. The schedules are right there. Make sure you fill out the attendance form. Okay, so I can give you attendance for the next week and change and stuff like that. So yes, so that's kind of it. Make sure you take your exam tomorrow. Make sure any last minute work that you get it in tomorrow. I so appreciate you all this year and stuff. I know being online is a little hard. It's impersonal sometimes and stuff like that. So I really do appreciate when you participate, when you interact and things like that. So hopefully this class hasn't been too difficult, you know, and stuff, and you've learned a couple things. So excited for your next chapter, whatever that is. And if you ever need anything, feel free to email me. I'm always happy to be a reference or something like that, you know, if you ever need anything. So anything I can do so it doesn't end when you graduate. Okay. So if you have questions or anything like that, oh, thank you. Thank you. So anything, if you have any questions or anything you need, then go ahead and stay behind. Otherwise, you're free to go. All right, you're free to go. Make sure you get that attendance form done and then do your final exam tomorrow. Okay. And like I said, I'll be in class next week. So if you need anything or have any last minute questions and stuff like that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Have a great day. Thank you, Ryder. Appreciate it. Anyone have any questions or anything they need before we go?